Well, hey there. So here is the week two writing project update. Um, a couple things. So I was planning to do some writing this week, and I did do some writing, but mostly it is brainstorming and coming up with ideas. The idea behind this project was not to spend hours and hours each week working on something. It was to spend half an hour or so talking. Half an hour or so actually doing something, and then maybe just a bit of outside prep time. But I realized that in order to do some writing, it does take some prep, especially a short story, say trying to write one of a page or so. That needs an outline or it needs some kind of guidance. And so there has to be an amount of prep time. And here I am on Saturday at the end of the second week, and I did not do that prep. So, working today, I decided I would do some brainstorming here, and I came up with some ideas for next week. And I will put these into a little bit of an outline form, but I'm going to read those off and yeah, go from there. So, hopefully, anyway, this will give me a few weeks worth of ideas to go from. But week two writing notes and short story ideas. The first idea I thought of was an escape from jail, some kind of an attempted escape that ends up with something worse, maybe like a flooded cell, or maybe something with a lack of information. So when the person tries to escape, they don't have enough information to actually get out and get it done. So maybe I'll play around a little bit more with that idea. The second idea I had was a dog walking through a park. Short story from the eyes of a dog that's maybe revealed in the end only. So tell the story and try to make it sort of seem like it's a person, but then reveal that it's the dog, maybe when they go jumping in a lake or something, or chasing after a stick. Not quite sure, but the third idea was buried treasure, but not something that's usually thought of as treasure. So maybe a person walking on a beach and they find a shell and it is somehow like a treasure, but a treasured memory. Something related to their grandma, maybe, or an ex girlfriend or boyfriend, or yeah, but a buried treasure of some type that's not usually a treasure. The fourth idea I had was magic tricks and a person doing magic tricks and learning about them, and then actually having a magic trick actually work in real life. For example, something disappear and not being able to be discovered or found again. So maybe there's a way to do that. I'm not quite sure. And some of these story ideas were hopefully going to be just a page or so long. So I'm not quite sure if I can tell those stories in a page or not, but yeah. So this definitely ended up to be a little more of a difficult project um, than I thought it was going to be. So the fifth idea I have here is write a death scene, like possibly a murder or something, or a plane crash. And I just wanted to experiment with that. I'm a pretty upbeat guy, so writing a death scene or something like that is a little bit of a step outside my usual mannerisms. I don't do a lot of death, Hopefully, nobody does a lot of death, I guess. I mean, it's sort of a part of life, but so it might be interesting to try to write a death scene and see if that even as a scene could be sort of a short story. So sixth idea I had here was, is there a way to do a mystery in one page? I don't know. A single page mystery, is that possible? So maybe start off with the suspects in a room and then describe the crime backwards. I'm not quite sure if that can be done in a page or if there's a mystery or an element kind of tension there that can be done or not done. But anyway, that was an idea. Number seven here I have is a story told backwards. And I don't really know what that, I was just kind of brainstorming here, so I don't quite know what that means. If it means actually like writing it backwards, or if it just means told backwards in time, and if that would be kind of a literary trick or an actual some other type of trick. But um, so eight, I thought, well, I could go back through some of my old story notes and ideas and just kind of refresh them. I have quite a few. saved up over the years. I've attempted to do some things like this before, but hopefully this year holds me a little bit more accountable with this 10 Forward project. So I could go back through some of those old ideas and kind of rehash them. But this is clearly going to take a little bit more of an outline, and maybe even as much as like 15 minutes a day to really do some writing each week, especially to try to create a story or to do something each week. I can't imagine doing that in half an hour off the cuff like I sort of thought I could. Just sit down and try to write. I could sit down and try to write for half an hour, but it is nice to have some kind of concept or outline of where I'm going or a person might be going. So yeah, so go back through some of my old ideas, kind of refresh them or see what's happening. And if not surprisingly here, the ninth idea that I came up with tonight was actually work on the novel that I've been plugging away at for a couple of years, really. And I have an outline done. I've worked on it. Actually the little segment from week one was a little outtake from that story or that novel, and so I could go back and work on that, and that could actually end up to be maybe really the best use of this project. So it's hard to know going into something how it's going to develop, especially a creative, kind of an unusual project like this. But yeah, it could be that I actually spend some time on the novel. So anyway, so for this week, for week 2, which is wrapping up tonight, Saturday night here, yeah, those were my ideas. You can see them here on the page, maybe if I hold that up. I was going to work on that. That probably was 20 minutes or so of brainstorming, maybe half an hour of kind of work on that. And I tried to be pretty focused on it. In fact, I didn't take out my phone. I just sat and did writing and tried to come up with some ideas. So not listening to music or anything else or having any distractions. So seems like the best policy. I've never been a professional writer or any type of writer, and so we'll see how that goes. But that's what I got for this week in the writing part of the 10 Forward project, and we will go forward into next week. Take care.